Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Nothing Movies coming at you with my review of the 1984 fantasy film, The NeverEnding Story. Now, before I get into the movie, I just want to tell you a little bit about my history with the movie. When I was a kid, this was my movie. This was my jam. I loved it. When I was probably, I think, maybe 6, it was my favorite movie. I used to watch it all the time. It was just so great. I loved Falcor. I love, the idea of Falcor just, I thought was the coolest thing ever. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. And then as I grew up, and I've watched this movie since, and I watched it recently, it is amazing to me, this movie, how it came to be, because it is shockingly frightening. There are so many scenes in this movie that are really creepy and freak me out. Like the Gamork, the wolf creature that is trying to track down Atreyu throughout and wants to basically eat him. That is a frightening character. It freaked me out as a kid. I loved the movie anyways. Now, I grew up in a different time where my parents were pretty lax in the types of movies that I was allowed to watch. So I grew up watching horror flicks. I grew up watching Predator. I grew up watching all these movies that a lot of kids wouldn't now. So I was able to put up with some of the more frightening content and from some of the more emotional content in this movie maybe than others. But yeah, the Gamork is so freaky. And then the moment in this movie that has always stuck with me, and I think about it now and I'm like, wow. I mean, this movie was clearly targeted towards younger people, right? Like all the fantasy elements are kind of kiddie in nature. Like the when I say all of them, I don't mean all of them, because obviously that's not the case. I just mentioned Gamork, and I'm going to mention another one. What I mean is like the characters, right? Like you have like the Rock Muncher and stuff like that, and all the good guys in this movie are definitely targeted more towards kids. But the villains and like the tension in this movie, it definitely does not seem like something you would see in a kids movie these days. Like there's a moment in this movie that comes I think close to the middle, maybe closer to the latter half, where Atreyu has to go past these 2 statues, and you see in this scene where another being is trying to go past the statues, and all of a sudden the statues heads, like if they were looking like this and you're the character that's going towards them, all of a sudden they're like, and like beams come out of their eyes and destroys them. And you find out that if you walk past these statues, which Atreyu has to in order to get to where he needs to go in order to finish his quest, and you show any fear, if they can sense any fear in you, you will be destroyed. Now, and like the mind f that is that scene, because obviously when you're going past 2 like statues like this that could kill you in a moment, you're going to be scared. That is scary. But if you are scared, that's what's going to cause them to destroy you. It is such a crazy idea to put in a kids movie. Like who would do that in a kids movie? And then there's the moment where like his horse, I believe it's named Shadowfact, just gives up and allows itself to sink into quicksand, quick mud or whatever, because it's not really sand, it's mud, but allows itself to perish because of depression. And then like just there's so many moments in this movie that you're like, wow, they put that in a kids movie. And even more interesting, what does that say about me that it was my favorite movie as a kid? Well, let's just not even think about that. I love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. I do understand that maybe if I checked it out for the first time now as an adult, or even as a kid these days, that isn't used to the type of effects or the type of storytelling that was around at that time, that maybe I wouldn't feel the same way. But I just think this is an extraordinary film that really treats kids like they can deal with situations and deal with emotions that maybe a lot of movies don't. And I think that's remarkable. And obviously I think if you're going to show this to your children, you have to know them well enough and know whether or not they could put up with content like that and still enjoy a film and still get something out of it. Because obviously if your kid is basically unlike me when I was a kid, has never watched anything that was more frightening, or if they have, they didn't cope with it very well, then this probably isn't a movie for them. But I'd be very interested to know what a kid that has been able to deal with more adult content would think. And I really actually really look forward to one of these days showing this to my daughter, hopefully once I realize that she might be able to cope with it, because obviously I don't want to give her nightmares or frighten her or anything like that, but I'd be interested to see what she thinks of some of the concepts of it, and where that puts her head. I just think that'll be really cool to see. So those are my thoughts on the NeverEnding Story. It's just such a remarkable and unique film. And obviously I do realize that there are other films of the era that are kind of similar, like you think of like The Last Unicorn or stuff like that, where they're clearly marketed towards kids but have content that's maybe not what you would see as children friendly these days. But the sci-fi aspects of it, the ending being the fact that there's some kind of fourth wall breaking, there's some meta-ness to it, which I didn't touch on, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It just this movie just works on all those levels to me. It really, really is cool. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. Please hit that like button. It does awesome things for my channel. It makes it much more likely that people outside of my subscriber base will have this video put in their suggested boxes, or recommended box, I should say. And please hit subscribe if you're new to my channel, or if you've been here a few times before and you haven't yet, and hit that notification bell. That way you find out when I put out new videos, because I absolutely love talking to you guys about movies, and it means the world to me that people come and check out my thoughts. And I would love it if anybody within the power of my voice would opt to be a part of that conversation with me. It just means the world to me. Other than that, have yourself a nice day.